When I first talked to David about the film, it was always about this way that we each play a role in order to manifest survival.
Coming in, ready, 1, 2, 3, go! The themes of this movie are love, reinvention, and identity. As you survive, how do you have to reinvent yourself, and what happens to your love?
It's great cinema, I think, because it's characters you care about in a world that's very exciting.
Nothing ever dies, nothing ever gets monotonous, nothing ever gets boring or dull. It's all fresh, it's all new, and it's exciting, and it's adrenaline every day.
I always look for characters and worlds. I think anytime you're a writer or a director, you're looking for something that has a lot of heart and soul that you can mine very deeply. Charles Roven, Richard Suckle, guys I've known for a very long time, had worked on this material with Eric Singer.
It was a story I always wanted to tell because it was so great.
We started looking at this, and I started to think, God, these characters are kind of amazing. And it's a chemical thing. I felt it immediately. I felt the chemical thing that I felt with the people of The Fighter or the people of Silver Linings. This was a case of another true story, American Hustle, that was based on events and people who just leapt off the page. The characters were just vivid, unlike any I'd ever seen before.
David, once he became involved, the driving force became the characters, and something that he knew that he could make his own and therefore make into a, quote, David Russell movie, unquote, that pulled everybody in.
In all the films that he's made, his films are about people and their search for something better. There is a reckoning that they have in their lives, and that's one of the things that I think would make David Russell films so singular and unique.
David is one of the most gifted writers I've ever come across. And one of the reasons is because he really does inhabit every character that he writes about.
I'm like the Viet Cong, man, all right? I'm in and I'm out. I was there the whole time. You don't know it, all right? That's an art of becoming somebody who people can pin their beliefs and their dreams on. You can't do it.
We had this script, which was filled with these incredible moments, and you almost say at one point, it's like, how can you pack this much movie in 41 days? That's not going to be easy. You know going in that's going to be hard.
Cheers. I'm sorry.
What? These actors all committed to the movie before David had finished writing it. And in some cases before David had even started writing it, just based on their conversations, on their trust in him, on their previous relationships with David.
David writes drama in such a wonderful way that it's never one tone. All of his drama, even his dramatic scenes, are exciting and funny and intriguing and interesting and confusing, and he just has this way of looking at the world and looking at people that when he expresses himself, it's a very exciting thing to watch because you never really know what you're going to get. None of his characters are really predictable.
He knows their voices, he knows their mannerisms, he knows everything about them to a point where when he's throwing out an idea, it's real, it's genuine. It's not like he's just saying, try this on for size. It's coming from a place because it is within the DNA of the character that he created and wrote.
I got very excited because I knew I had a great character for every actor that they had never played, and the audience has never seen.
This guy right here, he's got a big heart. Guys like you and me, we dream and we build. We never give up. We never quit.
The cast is really extraordinary. We were unbelievably blessed to actually have, in one movie, having real significant roles. Christian and Amy and Bradley and Jeremy and Jennifer.
You're only as good as who you get to work with. You feel very, very lucky to be surrounded by such tremendous talent.
I think having a chance to work with Christian Bale and Amy Adams, people that I admired a lot, that was very thrilling to be on set with them every day and to sort of be in the trenches and have to show up and match them. That was incredible. I think that's the biggest takeaway. It's just and then being sort of in awe of what they were doing.
I can't speak highly enough of working with each actor and what they brought to the experience of working on this film.
Everybody, it's kind of sick how great everybody was.
There's a showmanship in storytelling, and whether you're telling a story to your child at bedtime or whether you're telling audiences all over the country in theaters, you must have a certain excitement or magic. And I feel that excitement when I know that Christian Bale is going to play somebody I've never seen him play.
Christian is legendary for throwing himself into roles. You don't see Christian as Christian, you just see him as the characters.
Irving Rosenfeld, he creates this, and it's this sort of languorous demeanor, and he's very soft-spoken, and it's really kind of wonderful.
Is that Duke Ellington on your bracelet?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is. He died this year, you know?
I know. I doubt anyone else here knows or cares about it.
Well, I care about it. He saved my life many times.
Mine too. He just looked like a fascinating man, and far more interesting than I'd imagined. Not this sort of slick wheeler dealer, not at all. You know, there was something very raw about him all the time.
He wasn't necessarily in good shape, and he had this comb over that was rather elaborate. He had this air about him.
I'm not going to play it without trying to, you know, adopt his physicality, his body type. And David was going, really, you're doing that? And I was like, yes, I'm doing that. Absolutely, David, there's no question. He's like, all right, you don't have to go too far. But, you know, I ended up, I was over 40 pounds heavier than my normal weight, you know, by the end.
He was who he was. He didn't care.
There was something in the air about this guy, and we had to figure it out. That was exciting to me for every one of these characters.
My dream was to become anyone else other than who I was. She's just an extremely complex character that was really fascinating to develop. I mean, I've never played somebody who is so, you know, I've played a lot of layered characters, but this is the only one that, like, you peel back a layer and it's like there's another layer and then another, and then even then you have to approach it with no judgment. Everybody at the bottom crosses paths eventually in a pool of desperation, and you're waiting for them.
How about we?
She's only living in order to adapt to each situation, becoming what she thinks she needs in order to survive.
At the core of it, to me, it was a love story. They're not just criminals trying to steal things. They're people like anybody else who want to live the magic that anybody else wants to live.
I felt like we had a secret, just the two of us. You know, like that thing when you just want to be with the one person the whole time, and you feel like the two of you understand something that nobody else gets.
Let's go. Well, anytime you do a movie with David, I know that it's gonna have to take me to places emotionally that aren't comfortable but are real, and he demands that you explore things in an organic way that you can't really think about. So I knew that, like, he wanted Richie in the movie to be this sort of unhinged, dangerous, yet at the same time very vulnerable and childlike character.
He's had to live his whole life as a decent, good guy, and this is his chance just to explode. Everybody thought, oh, Richie DeMarzo's gonna stay in the office pushing papers. That's not gonna happen, Mom. I'm outside on the field. I got people working for me. My ideas. I'm running the show. I'm the quarterback, and I'm not gonna settle for no one, Mom.